Saw 2 is a horror film that was released in 2005, and it is a sequel to the 2004 film Saw. The movie follows the story of Detective Eric Matthews, Donnie Wahlberg, who is tasked with rescuing a group of people who have been locked in a house filled with deadly traps by the Jigsaw Killer, Tobin Bell. The movie was a commercial success, grossing over $147 million worldwide, and it received mixed reviews from critics. The question of whether Saw 2 was better than the original is a matter of personal opinion. However, there are some factors that can be considered when comparing the two movies. Saw 2 had a bigger budget than the original, which allowed for more elaborate sets and special effects. The movie also had a larger cast of characters, which allowed for more complex storytelling. However, some critics felt that the movie relied too heavily on gore and violence, and that it lacked the suspense and tension of the original. What Saw 2 says about audiences is a complex issue. On the one hand, the movie's commercial success suggests that there was an audience for this type of horror film. The movie's graphic violence and disturbing imagery appealed to a certain segment of the movie-going public. This suggests that there is a demand for horror films that push the boundaries of what is acceptable in terms of violence and gore. On the other hand, the success of Saw 2 also raises questions about the type of entertainment that audiences are willing to consume. The movie's depiction of violence and torture is extreme, and it raises ethical questions about the impact of such entertainment on society. Some critics argue that movies like Saw 2 contribute to a culture of violence and desensitization to human suffering. Others argue that movies like Saw 2 are a reflection of the darker aspects of human nature, and that they serve as a warning against the dangers of unchecked power and the abuse of authority. In addition to these ethical questions, the success of Saw 2 also raises questions about the role of horror films in society. Some critics argue that horror films serve as a catharsis for our deepest fears and anxieties, and that they provide a way for us to confront and overcome our fears. Others argue that horror films are a reflection of the darker aspects of human nature, and that they serve as a warning against the dangers of unchecked power and the abuse of authority. In conclusion, the question of whether Saw 2 was better than the original is a matter of personal opinion, but the movie's commercial success suggests that there was an audience for this type of horror film. However, the success of Saw 2 also raises ethical questions about the impact of such entertainment on society, as well as questions about the role of horror films in society. Ultimately, the success of Saw 2 is a reflection of the complex relationship between audiences and the entertainment they consume, and the ethical and social implications of this relationship are worthy of further exploration.